I got a comment to talk about how factions work in New World, and yeah, I can do that. There are three main factions in New World. There is the Marauders, the Covenant, and the Syndicate. By doing faction quests for your representative in a given zone of the map, you increase your faction's influence in said zone. If it hasn't been taken over yet, once your faction reaches a certain threshold of XP for that zone, you can then take it over. Now, the company within that given faction that wins that faction race, that has contributed the most to taking over the zone, gets to control the settlement. That means they get to set the taxes, they get to decide what the town works on, and they get to decide the buffs for the town. So, pretty cool stuff. Which, by the way, if you're on the US West on the server Thelamine and you want to join the best company in the world, you can go ahead and join up with my company, the Free Walrus Company. Because, yeah, we just kind of do whatever we want. Now, let's say if you want to move from place A to place B, if your faction owns both of those zones, then you can move all of your stuff from the storage shed from point A to point B for free. Which, don't need to tell you, that's pretty cool. On top of that, buying a house in a faction area that you own is much, much cheaper than in a faction area that you don't own. And on top of that, if you're a part of the company that controls the settlement, you get another discount on a house. So, you can buy a house for about anywhere between 1,500 to 2,500 gold if you are a part of the company and a part of the faction that owns that area and it's your first house. So you can buy a house for pretty cheap in this game. The reason why you want to buy a house, by the way, is because you can set it as a recall point, much like an inn, and you can teleport back to it for free. So makes map moving a lot easier. Now, how do you take over a zone if another faction already owns it? Well, again, by doing your faction quests in that zone. However, there are a couple things that you need to take note of. PvP quests do a lot more influence damage than PvE quests. And if you control the fort in that zone, then your PvP quests are going to be a whole lot more effective and do a whole lot more influence damage to your opponents if you hold the fort. And there is a nice little bonus to that. If you hold the fort, your opponents are going to be trying to take the fort back in a giant PvP battle. So all of them are going to be going over there, so you can kind of run off and do your PvP quests pretty much unbothered. I hope all this information helps. If I've skipped anything or have forgotten anything or missaid anything, let me know. Take care.